IVC. So still Sunday morning, straight back on. This is a recent finds video for the month of June. So I'll start with a few reappraisals of records that were either, well, one was in the garage car boot pile, and the others were in my Discogs that I've pulled out, reappraised, and put back in the collection. And then I'll go on to recent finds, new acquisitions. Most of them are reissues. There aren't many new 2020 releases in there at the moment. I'm still kind of reappraising those, I think, or delving deep into those, so I'm not ready to kind of show them yet. Probably next month. So yeah, so I'm ahead now in terms of trending graphs that we're all avidly watching at the moment. I'm ahead of the trend at the moment. So yeah, I was doing quite well. I set myself a target to try and keep the collection manageable, of don't acquire more than 10 records a month from shops, auctions or online purchases was my New Year target, and I was doing well. Lockdown helped as well because I kind of reined back, didn't want to burden the posties carrying records around when they got more important things to do at the beginning of the lockdown. However, the another kind of side of lockdown was that independent artists and labels were struggling, and they were trying to do things to stimulate demand, either Bandcamp waiving its fees or doing offers and putting together special packages and the like. So actually kind of protecting the record industry, single-handedly protecting the record industry, rather than burdening the postal industry, kind of won out in Dale's brain. So I have been buying a bit more, and I've now got to a point now, as I said, when I've gone ahead of my target, because June I seem to have gone a little bit crazy, which is why I'm not showing them now, because I haven't actually had time to absorb them. So sorry, where we are, 2 minutes, and I still haven't shown a record. So, So again, I've mentioned I bored you all to death with about normally I listen to music more time commuting. So typically I have, if I was on a normal working day, I'd have 4 hours of commuting to listen to music digitally on headphones, and then maybe 1 hour in the evening where I get a chance to spin records. So that means I tend to buy a record, listen to it once, get the user download code, and then absorb it much more digitally, having already listened to it on vinyl. I'm not now getting that digital time. I don't listen to music when I'm working at home, and I'm normally in meetings all day, and I don't kind of listen to music anyway much when I'm working. So I'm kind of not getting the amount of hours listening time that I would normally have, even though I'm at home, which sounds a bit bizarre. I am listening to more vinyl because I could maybe get 2 hours in a day, but yeah. Anyway, sorry, I've now rambled 3.5 minutes. So reappraisals, and this first one, I was watching a video. Roswell Ryan did a video on this record, saying it was the best sophomore album ever. So this is Sailing Shoes by Little Feat. Now I don't necessarily agree that this is the best sophomore album, but I haven't got an alternative at this exact time, but I don't think it probably is in my mind. This was in my Discogs soul pile, beautiful artwork there, and I reappraised it. So Little Feat, I've probably owned most of their studio albums, and this is going to be another rule breaker. So typically, I think I've said in the past, I'm not a massive fan of the double album. I'm not a massive fan of live albums. Yet for Little Feat, I decided that the best kind of representation of Little Feat, I feel, is on the Waiting for Columbus live double album. So I've kept that, and I was purged all of their studio albums. I had about 4 or 5 studio albums, but I've reappraised this, and now this has gone back in the collection. So thank you, Roswell. This was a garage. This was in the garage in the car boot. I previously, I think picked it up at a car boot myself, and then it was a meh album, but gave it another listen. It's a good, it's a good representation of new wave. I probably need to clean the cover up now. A good representation of new wave. Again, not brilliant, but it's good enough, and enjoyed it. So gone back. So this is the Tourists, by the way. Yeah, Luminos Basement. It's a little bit battered, but plays okay. One from the Discogs box. So it's going to be a controversial statement if anyone cares, which is, I'm not a massive Miles Davis fan. I love Kind of Blue, absolutely adore Kind of Blue, but you're going to shut that blind a bit, it's very bright. If that's any better, not much. Sun comes out again. Yeah, so I've got a number of Miles Davis albums that I've picked up, again mainly at car boot sales. This is another one. This is an original mono of Miles Smiles, but I really enjoyed this, and this is something I did actually play one morning when I was working, and really enjoyed it. So yeah, gone back in the collection. So I still need to. I mean, it's done so much work, and I'm so late to the party with Miles Davis that it's kind of working through. I did also listen to digitally in a silent way, and tried to get hold of an audiophile press of that, but again, I'm 2 or 3 years too late. So that's stupid money. So this is Cybertron. So this was shown a lot in the VC several years ago. I'm thinking Fred Big Star 1000. So these are Australian early electronic, 1976 I think this is. Yeah, so electronic fusion prog, something like that. Yeah, at the time it kind of I think the cover art outweighed the music. I'm not sure it's the best reissue musically, but it's on Jewel Planet label, which I think is an Australian label itself. No, I reappraised this, and it's good. It's better. I think side 2 was better than side 1, but it was a good album. So staying, or back in the collection, shall I say. So that's it with those. So the rest, these are all new purchases, but as I said, most of them are reissues. So let's get on with that. So the first one, and I'll put these in. I've got a 10th, a 20th, a 40th, and a 50th anniversary issue. So start with the 10th. So this is the recent reissue, triple vinyl reissue of High Violet by the National, which I'm a fan of. Had it the CD when it came out, and again, probably controversially prefer this to the 2 albums before it in my eyes, Alligator and Boxer before this, but I probably need to actually invest as much time in those as this to probably truly say that. But yeah, this is a great album. The National, US indie, up Dale Street melancholy typically, but a sort of anthemic melancholy, if that's right. Yeah, every one of the tracks on here is a kind of anthem. Great songs. So what I found, and this has been released, as I said, triple. This is my first and only physical I purchased from a shop. So I knew this was coming out, and my local record shop in Winchester, Elephant Records, Alex, who runs it, had been during the lockdown done a bit of showing his records on, getting stuff in on Instagram, and was willing to sort of deliver it free around the Winchester area, but nothing had come up that kind of floated my boat in the new or that he had, but I saw he had this, and I said, can you reserve me a copy? And I went into town last week and had a browse. He only sells new vinyl, so there wasn't much that I needed at the time, although I probably should have got the Neil Young limited edition. He sold all those now, so that was Probably should have just got that anyway, but even though I hadn't heard it at the time. So anyway, this is high, so high violet, and then there's a bonus material disc. Comes on. So they're all the discs are sort of like this splatter marbled effect, violet and white. So impressive, but as you know, coloured vinyl has its pluses. It looks lovely, but it doesn't always sound lovely. So this is, I'd say, okay. It gets it's disc 1 is fine. Disc 2 and 3, there's a little bit of crackly. I've cleaned them twice. A little bit crackly at the start of both discs on both sides for a little bit of kind of distortion, crackle that you sometimes get with coloured vinyl, but mostly it's fine. So it's, you know, so I'm happy, very happy. And what I will say is it doesn't sound like I was expecting, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't make sense, I'll have to explain. I'm familiar with the digital version, I'm familiar with the CD. It sounded much different. I don't know if I didn't see that it was a remix. I think it was just a reissue or a remaster. But it sounded a little bit more stripped back, and much more spacious. Now that might be the vinyl representation, I don't know, but you don't normally get that. To say, I need to maybe listen to them back to back, the digital and the vinyl. But don't get me wrong, it was really enjoyable, really lovely, really crankable. Record. It was just slightly different, very slightly different. Next up, Calexico. This is from, I think this came out last year, maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember. It's been on my Amazon want list for ages. So this is the Black Light, and this again is a double album. So they've managed to squeeze, I think, the 50-odd minute album on the first record, and they've got 50-odd minutes of bonus material on the second record. So I was a bit worried about therefore that would sound like. Again, it's not too bad. Not a brilliant pressing, but the sound is fantastic. I mean, it really does sounds great. That in terms of the mastering. So very, very happy, and the bonus material is great as well. It's got so you know, I like this album. It's for those Calexico are you know, they do kind of cinematic, obviously California and Mexico, I think, mixed together become Calexico. So Minas de Cobra is an instrumental track that's on the album itself, and they've got 3 different versions of it, and include an extended version on it on the and that's very sort of spaghetti western instrumental, but with Mexican feel to it. You have to listen to it, and so the 3 versions, well, certainly the extended version is just brilliant. So instead of being a 3-minute track, it's a 6-minute track, and it's absolutely fantastic. And so I was really turned that up and enjoyed that. And yeah, so this isn't my favourite Calexico album, but this actually made me like it more by buying the vinyl. So I'm happy with that purchase. Next, this only came yesterday, but I knew it, so I played it. I think I saw, I got an alert from Super Deluxe Edition. I don't know if any one of you follow Super Deluxe Edition. They just follow, and the guy who runs it, Paul, does features on Super Deluxe Edition, so deluxe reissues, packages, CD and vinyl, and therefore tracks when and also when there are kind of deals going. And this came up on, this is a £13 on Amazon. For the double album 40th edition, so I thought, well, you know, £13 delivered on Amazon Prime, I might as well. So I bought this. It came yesterday. It's on blue vinyl. I played the main album, so because I've got a copy of this already, but it's a bit beat up and a little bit crackly. So I was kind of in the market for an upgrade, and I thought, why not? I'll get this. Yeah, it's good, feel good pop. So kind of, I played the National and I played Calexico today, so that's kind of they're a certain mood. this kind of changed the mood. So yeah, so I blasted the first album out. I haven't explored the bonus material yet. It's got kind of alternate versions, singles versions, extended versions on it. So that was 40th anniversary of, sorry, that's Number One in Heaven by Sparks. Didn't even say what it was. Yeah, so this is Sparks' Number One in Heaven album. This next one I bought quite a while ago actually, and I've been exploring it. So this is a 1970 album called Raw Material by Raw Material. There's the band there, typical UK 70s rock. This is a lavish-ish reissue put together on the Sunbeam label. So the Sunbeam label is the label of Richard Morton Jack, who I've previously mentioned, who writes the Endless Trip for the US guys, the US Psych, and the Galactic Ramble for UK Psych. Is the editor of Flashback magazine, which I've previously shown. Got some here. There you go. Oh, I'm still working. It's Flashback magazine. They haven't brought one out for about 3 years, but they did do 9 editions. So I've got 8 of them, as I've said before. Yeah, so he also puts out now. He's kind of on his Sunbeam label. He kind of puts out limited runs of records, I guess, that he wants to bring to people's attention. And this is number 197. I think they're still available actually, but it's a 500 press run. So it's a double album. So you've got the original album. There's a booklet in there as well and stuff. It's a double album. The first one is the original album. And then there's a kind of some radio sessions and a side of covers. So the radio sessions are pretty interesting. The covers are okay. They're pretty much, they do authentic covers, true to the original, which if I'm going to hear a cover version, I often like the artist to put their own stamp on it, either bring their style to it or do it in a particular different way. And these are kind of true renditions, so they're okay. The album itself is great. It's badged, I think, if you look on catalogues, as prog or psych prog. I think it's got a bit of everything going on, to be honest. There's some boogie rock, some blues rock, some just early 70s UK hard rock, as well as sort of prog and psych leanings. I mean, what have we got? It's got everything here. So we've got sax, harp, flute, keyboards, guitar, bass, percussion. So a bit of all that going on in there in different places. So yeah, but really enjoyable. And so enjoyed that. Okay, last of the reissues, and this, so I've kind of broken a rule, broken a pact I've got with Shannon D. On we like the somber, quieter side of Goldfrapp, and we're not keen on the dancier, poppier side. And this is Goldfrapp's second album, and I think it was it's a hybrid. It's got a bit of both, but I still like it. So they're reissuing, the label reissue, so the artist is reissuing. They're about to bring out Supernature, which I probably will pass on. That's a bit too dance, disco, pop for me. So I'm not going to buy that, but I am really looking forward to. Hopefully they'll release Seventh Tree, which was a much more different kind of stripped back Goldfrapp that I like. So hopefully that'll come out soon. But anyway, I decided to buy this. So you buy it I bought it from the Goldfrapp's website, so or the label website. So you get an art print, which is quite nice. It's got a nice inner, and it's on coloured vinyl, purple vinyl. So yeah, another one of my rules. So I prefer black vinyl, yet I seem to be buying lots of coloured vinyl. I guess that's what happens when you're going to buy the anniversary issues of things. You're probably going to end up with coloured vinyl. So that's it for the reissues. So if you waited this long, I'm probably going to disappoint you because I've only got a couple of albums and a single of new issues. So I'll get this one out of the way. I think everyone's going to be showing this. So yeah, obviously bought that on the orange transparent. So yeah, listen to this online. I wasn't going to buy it actually. I thought, yeah, it's okay. The kind of very produced vocals were a little bit jarring, but it's a proper Rolling Stones song, isn't it? So you know, I like the Rolling Stones, so I've Get Over Yourself, Dale. You buy it. Come on, I haven't taken the shrink off this yet. This only came yesterday as well. Also on Friday, I think. But yeah, cracking song, and obviously very pertinent to the times. So that's that. So this was an album I got a while ago, and I got this on a very strong review in Shindig magazine, expecting, I guess, country psych is what I was expecting. I think I would say that they dial up the country and dial down the psych. It's more country, probably more, goes beyond Americana. So I'm comfortable with Americana. I'm less comfortable with country, I'd say, and it's probably a bit more of that. I think I must have listened to it. It's got a mix of two or three Spanish songs sung in Spanish, and then the others are in English. I mean, there's the guys. That's probably where it's it's about like that. But I've as I say, I've been kind of wondering about it. On the first listen, I thought that's a bit country for me. Second and third listens, actually, I'm growing to enjoy it. It's really nice. They do kind of harmony vocals, duet harmony vocals. It's very impressive and enjoyable. So yeah, give it a listen if my terrible description so far and negative comments make you want to explore it, then do it. And then finally, album I have enjoyed a lot, that probably anyone will know. So this is Mark McDowell's album called Breakthrough. Bold statement. So it's actually Mark McDowell and Friends, and this is a bit of a private release, I suppose. It's been actually released on the Freedom Air label, which is a whole nother video. I'm a big follower and supporter of the Freedom Air label. As I say, I will probably do another video on that at some point, a whole video. So I've seen Mark Dow live. I saw him live in a pub in Glastonbury last year, I think. And I got his previous album. So this is his second album. That's called Breakthrough. So what is he? It's psych, modern psych, acoustic psych, but well, this has got a lot more going on than acoustic. Very poppy, pop psych, very nice. This don't know if it's still available. I think you can check him out on Bandcamp or Spotify so I pre-ordered this when I got an email, so I think it was a limited run, but it may still be available. But yeah, really enjoyable, nice mood to it, and as was his first album. So that's it. I won't ramble on anymore. So so there are some of my acquisitions. I've got quite a lot more in the inbox up here, but I'm still working my way through those. So thanks. Cheers. Bye.